Hello guys and welcome back again. I'm here again with the Battle for Wesnoth, and this is kind of a follow-up for my last video. I wanted to do kind of like a turn-by-turn cast of an online game I played recently. This is an online game I played actually just today. This is me, Karn Builder, playing as the Elfin faction, the Rebels. And let me actually change my view here. This is the in-game kind of replay viewer. So I can watch a replay of a game I already played. I can even jump into an old game. So for example, if I wanted to actually rejoin, so let me do full map. If I wanted to actually jump into this game that I already played and kind of play it again from a certain spot, if I made a mistake or something, I can actually do that. So I can click this button to continue play, and I would actually start playing as whatever character. For example, I'd play as myself or I'd play as the opponent. So this was against another player online. Their name was Ulf. I don't actually know where they're from, but they actually quit kind of like halfway through this game. So I shouldn't say this is exactly a multiplayer game. I mean, like half of it was. And then they quit. But Wesnoth has a feature where if another player quits online, you can replace them with an AI player. So I was kind of feeling bad because he quit. Like, it wasn't even like the game was like over yet. Like, I was doing pretty well, but I guess he got frustrated and quit. I mean, I was playing very annoyingly. Rebels can be a very annoying faction to play against because they're really obnoxious. And I guess he got fed up and decided to quit. And I was kind of sad because I wanted to continue the game. I wanted to keep playing. But after that, then anyways, I decided to change him to an AI, and I finished the game against an AI. And I'll be very honest here. I mean, not to be offensive to this guy, Ulf, but I found the AI way more challenging than he was. You could see the difference between when I was playing against him to when he leaves the game and gets replaced by the AI in terms of the quality of the play. Big difference. And I think that's more a testament to how good the AI is in this game. I think the AI is really good. This is not an RTS, so I think the AI definitely has a much easier time with these kind of turn-based, very rules-based games versus something like a real-time strategy where everything's very loose comparatively. But anyway, let's get started. Let's see turn one. Just play turn one here. So both of us just do a little bit of recruitment, and you can see he actually moves on to another platform. So me, I recruited over on this platform. I started here, and I only recruited 3 units, and I still had a little bit of gold left over. He actually recruited in his first fort, then he moved to another fort to recruit another 3 units. So I kind of didn't really think about this at first. I was thinking I would just get a few scouts out, because I wasn't sure who I was playing against. I didn't know what faction I was against here. I wanted to just get a few scouts up first, and then save my money for later to get more forces once I kind of knew what I was facing. It looks like he just went right away to get tons of units, and he got like a really big mix of units. Like again, let me see what he got. So he got quite a few things here. He got a Dune Rover, he got a Dune Burner, a Dune Skirmisher, another Dune Burner, and then a Dune Soldier, and then a Dune Rider. So he got like a big mix of like everything. He got almost every single unit that the Dunekin have available. Or not Dunekin, Dunefolk have available. I just got a couple scouts. I really like to go scouts at the beginning of the game just to kind of spread out across the map, kind of see what's going on. Scouts can ride over most terrain pretty easily, especially Rebel scouts. And they can fortify themselves pretty easily in forests. Not as good as some other units, but they can get good defensive bonuses in like a forest tile, so they can defend themselves pretty well. And they can capture little settlements very quickly. So that's kind of the strategy I like to go for. I like to get some kind of fast-moving unit out first, either scouts or skirmishers, just kind of to see what's happening, see who the enemy is. Like as I said, at the time I had no idea who the enemy is. Let's actually go to the next turn. You can see I just spread out my riders. I try to grab as many little fortresses as soon as possible. He kind of does the same thing, sending units out. And he actually grabs a lot more, just because he grabbed 1, 2, 3, 4. I just grabbed 3 in my first turn. 1, 2, 3. That's because I only had 3 units to start with. And I recruited a little bit more the next turn. I still have a little bit of money left over to recruit one more, but I didn't actually recruit an extra one. We did have a little bit of dialogue. He just said, hi, have fun. I just said, you too. So that was the sum of any conversation we had this game. He got kind of pissy, I think, and decided to quit a little bit later, like halfway through the game. But so he starts off with a big advantage. He got a lot of units out at the start, but he also moved his commander off the starting tile to grab another fort, which I could have done as well. Maybe I should have, but I wanted to recruit a little bit. Maybe I should have moved my commander out to one of these tiles to grab it quickly, but I kind of didn't. So I was a little bit off balance at the beginning. He definitely had an economic advantage at the beginning, and he had a lot of units built up, but you'll see what kind of happens. Let's just continue the next turn. Okay, just having these units spread out. Grab a few more villages, and he goes here to recruit. And this is my first sighting of an enemy, I think. Yeah, I can see the enemy here and here. So they're moving out. I'm trying to control the whole right side and south of the map, basically, this whole kind of region, and then eventually try to poke in with my scouts. I did also get 2 archers. This is because the archers have a bigger bonus when it comes to hiding in the forest. You can see if I hover over this unit, let me actually zoom in a little bit. When I hover over my archer, they can hide in the forest with a 70% defense, which is excellent, to be honest. And you can see this other one in the fort. I just end up using the archers as like point defense. They're really good for that. They can hide in forests or other kind of really high defense tiles like this fortress, and really make it really annoying for the enemy to kick them out. And I think that's why he got so frustrated, because I had a bunch of these units just hiding in like forests and stuff, and he really didn't have a way to like kick them out or anything like that. So let's continue the next turn. Alright, so he's moving out here. Like I said, he has a big variety of units, but I think this is more to his detriment than his benefit, to be honest, because really in this game, you kind of don't want to be building every single unit you have. You really want to focus on just a few units and use those as well as you can, basically. So he's got a lot of variety of units. All my units are basically the same, and I end up making just a lot of the same units. I did make a merman hunter. That's because there's a lot of water on this map, and it is very useful to control the water. You can see he already made a naga. Nagas are better than marauders. Sorry, than hunters. You can see the big difference. I have a 3x2 spear and a 4x3 throwing spear. He has a 7x2 throwing chakra and a 5x3 dagger. So way better stats on this Naga. And even more health as well. So the Nagas are just a much better unit. And I have a really hard time dealing with the Nagas. Like throughout this game, he pumps out a lot of Nagas. I try my best to control the water, but it's really difficult to maintain it just because the Nagas are a much better water unit than my own are. So the hunters are okay, but they're just not able to compete with the Nagas, and he really doesn't take as much advantage of this as I think he should have. The AI actually makes a lot of Nagas, and I have a really hard time controlling the water and trying to keep them, not really controlling it, but trying to keep them under control with that. You can see I'm moving my archers out, just getting them into really advantageous positions. Again, this horseman in the forest, I always try to keep my elves in high defensive tiles because they're a little bit squishy. Elves have pretty low HP. You can see only 35 HP. Let's compare that to one of his units. One of his units, 36 HP for this Dune Burner, and 39 HP for this guy, the Dune Rover. So Dune Rovers are really good units. They're liminal though, which makes them a little bit difficult to deal with. I think in my last video, I made a mistake when I talked about liminal units. They get neutral bonuses all times a day, but they get a buff during dawn and dusk. So I was kind of mistaken. I thought that it was that they would get a debuff during all times a day except dawn and dusk. But I think that's how it used to be in older versions. It seems like now they change it so they get a buff during dawn and dusk and neutral during all other times, which I think it makes a little bit more sense. It's a little bit easier to think about. But yeah, he's got a lot of units out here, and I would be in trouble, but again, I try to stick to defensive positions, and it really makes it difficult for him. Let's skip to the next turn. So here goes my merman. again, harassing him a little bit from these positions is hard for him to dislodge me. You could see what makes what makes Rebels so annoying. He's got 1, 2, 3 units surrounding this guy, but because he's in a forest, it's really, really hard to just dislodge him. And throughout the game, I really try to take advantage of that, where I have one unit. Oftentimes they do get killed eventually, but one unit is able to tie up like 4 or even 5 units. They're all trying to kill him because it's just so difficult to take him out in these kind of high defensive positions. And that's really how you have to play Rebels. You have to really take advantage of terrain and play your advantages in using the forests and other kind of high defense tiles to really make it difficult for them to deal with you. Even though you might have a disadvantage in numbers, which I do for most of this game. Most of this game I have a big numbers disadvantage. Only near the end I kind of turn it around. But let's continue. Again, spreading out, getting a few high defense tiles. This guy tries to hold this one here. The archers are kind of controlling these little areas, and each unit has a zone of control, so them trying to move around me will be difficult. They have to kind of engage with me, like it or not. Especially this area is very important. This area across these 2 islands ends up being a very hotly contested zone. So controlling these islands with these forests is very important with a few archers. Let's continue on. Spreading out here. Again, the main thing I want to do is grab these... Okay, finally spreading out a little bit here. And again, getting my horsemen. Both of these scouts end up dying, but they just want to cause a little bit of trouble here. And again, tie up his units. As long as he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 units tied up in the north here, and even more eventually, it's less of a problem for me, because I can kind of control more areas of the map otherwise. So you can see he's got 5 units tied up there. What does he have on the rest of the map? Like, he's got quite a lot of units. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, and I guess this guy guarding 5. So he's got half his army just dealing with this scout here. So it is pretty good trade for me. Even if they die, it ties them up and it lets me control more of the map in that time. And these guys are going to come claim these little villages. There's a few villages I did not claim yet, so that's kind of their duty. This guy, I'm going to have these 2 kind of deal with this southern marauder or this southern rider. Let's go to the next turn. Okay, you can see again, just trying to stick to very annoying positions. So, for example, this archer is in a great position to defend. Oof. And this is actually his commander. And the way this game mode works is if you knock out the commander, you win the game. So him attacking with this commander is a little bit suspect. His commander gets very low health. And it's hard to come back from there. I mean, he could heal it up. But again, I'm just trying to make it as annoying as possible for him. So for example, having this ranger, this archer here, is really annoying because it's hard for him to dislodge it from that forest. And you can see I'm able to control a lot of areas here. Again, taking this forest, basically every single forest is a strong point for me as Rebels because it's hard for them to, again, dislodge me. Even though my army count is very small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 to versus, I think he is like 10 or 11. So it's getting a little bit closer now. That's because I've been able to capture a lot of these towns. So we have more or less an equal split of the map, though I do have a slight advantage, I think, in terms of number controlled. Let's continue next turn. Now this is a good position because I have a big advantage fighting him in the forest. Dunefolk are really bad in forest zones, so I'm able to take him out there pretty easily and capture his little village that he captured down here. And again, just keeping an annoying presence in some of these areas to make it really difficult for them to deal with. Yeah. Another thing is, you can see I'm getting a lot of the same units. I'm getting a lot of, especially these guys, the Elvish warriors. Yeah, you can see he has a hard time dealing with me here. Yeah, so even me, like he's in a good defensive position in this village. So this kind of engagement between the forest and the village is already pretty difficult. But one thing I can say as well is these kind of Elvish fighters are Probably the best unit, I would say, for dealing with Dunefolk. I mean, they're all pretty good warriors. They have a decent range attack, a 3x3 bow, a very good sword attack, a 6x4 sword, and accompanying these guys with a few shamans to help heal them up and cast some slow effects, and the occasional archer. Archers are more for defense, I would say, in this kind of matchup, just defending forests because they get a bigger bonus for defense when they're a forest tile. So you can see my archer is a 70% defense bonus in this area. And you can see actually at this point, Ulf actually quit the game. So this is 9 turns in, he quit the game. So can I really call this a multiplayer game? I don't know. I mean, it's 10 turns of a multiplayer game and then like another 20 turns of versus the AI. So we'll continue this video anyways, because I mean, I don't really want to just end the video. I didn't want to quit after 10 turns because I already kind of like invested in the game. It made me feel bad to quit. And like I said, this is not like a bad position for him. He's got a lot of units on the field. He's controlling a decent amount of the map, like just this kind of corner area. Like I have an advantage in terms of villages controlled, but like he can easily take these ones from me, and I really don't have that much on the map at the moment, so he can easily fight back. But I don't know, I guess he decided to quit for some reason. He just says good game, and then he leaves. So I guess he just got annoyed dealing with my units here. He just doesn't want to deal with it. I don't know, whatever. Some people are like that. So from now on, it's the AI playing, and the AI plays a very strong game, to be honest. Much more painful to deal with than anyone else. And again, just sticking these archers in these really annoying forest tiles that makes them really hard to dislodge. What I do now as well is moving these 1, 2, 3 fighters, these 4 fighters down here. Okay, that's a bit annoying. That's the one annoying thing about this game is the amount you miss sometimes is so tiresome. Oof. These Dune Burners are like his best unit, I would say. They're really, really good. And they do a ton of damage. A ton of fire damage as well, which is really useful against a lot of units. Now, Dunefolk don't really have any dedicated mages, but these Fire Burners, I would say, are a good kind of medium ground because they have a strong attack. And their flame bottle is very strong as well. So he took out that archer, and you can see he's got a big army here. How many units does he have up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 over here. So 7 units. He's got 1, 2 over here. He's got 1, 2 over here. So way outnumbering me right now. Big, big numbers advantage. And the only reason I'm able to stay on is because I'm able to hold positions for a long time and tie up a lot of these units while I'm continuously producing. So what I'm going to do is move up a few of these Elvish fighters. These 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're going to move up. This guy's actually going to go over here to kind of replace this one who's dying. And then these 3 with the shaman, who's a healer, are going to move up and kind of try to control this middle area. Because this is like the key to the whole match. I guess he could loop around if he really wanted to, but this is a very hard path. It's easy for me to intercept. I mostly try to send a few scouts up here just to kind of keep an eye on this area and make sure nobody's doing that. But most of the fighting tends to be in this middle area with these islands. Especially because there's a lot of forts here, a lot of forest. It's easy to defend and hard to push through. Let's continue next turn. Again, swapping out my injured unit for a much stronger one is a good idea, but this guy's still in a very vulnerable position. And again, look at this. Finally took him out, but geez, sometimes you'll miss like shot after a super injured unit, and it's really painful trying to deal with that. And yeah, this guy's gonna go down. The horses are just not great on defense no matter what. You really need to keep them mobile, but sometimes they get stuck in a position where you do have to let them sit there. But yeah, you can see I'm losing a lot of units now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, 7 at the moment. So he has a huge numbers advantage over me at the moment. One good thing I had is I think this guy, this is one of my units, he upgraded to a spearman, so he got enough kills to upgrade himself. But I didn't get to choose the upgrade. It upgraded by itself because it happened off my turn. If it happens during your turn, you could choose which upgrade path to follow. So I didn't get to choose this, but I think this guy ends up dying anyways. So let's continue. Again, being neutral, night or daytime really doesn't matter. I just have to be careful during the dawn and dusk, because that's when some of his units, the ones that are liminal, like this guy, Dune Rover is liminal, they get a big boost during dawn and dusk only. And that's hard to deal with, because if a smart player will try to attack at that time, but the AI doesn't really do that too much. You see, even though we took out this horse, both these units are very weak, and I'm going to clean them up pretty quickly. But let's continue to the next turn. Again, just occupying some fortresses, making it difficult for him to move. So took out one there. This guy's going to stay here, but I think he ends up dying. Took out another one there. Again, if 5 or 6 units, so he took out that one, which is unfortunate, but if like several units are occupied dealing with just one unit, they all take damage every time they attack. So every time they're attacking this guy, both these guys are taking damage, both of them are getting weakened, and if he's not taking time to pull them back to heal them, they're going to be much harder to push with these guys later. So even though this one unit might die, the amount of damage he caused to like maybe 4 or even 5 units is worth it, I would say. So that's a big thing you have to consider, that even though losing unit kind of sucks, and you may have a unit disadvantage like I do right now, sometimes it's worth it if you can cause a lot of damage to several units, because all of those units might be killed in the next attack by you. You can see right in the moment, I'm trying to take control of the water, because he has Nagas coming out. Does he have any Nagas? He doesn't have any Nagas at the moment, but I know I have a merman here, and I want to actually kind of protect him a little bit. So I try to make 2 more mermen and try to take control of the water before he makes any Nagas, but a little bit later he does end up taking control of the water back from me, because again, Nagas are just a much better unit than the merman hunters. And he's trying to sneak around over here, I think. Try to push into my fort zone over there, but let's continue anyway, see what happens. Okay, luckily take out that unit. Again, same problem. It's hard for him to hold when his units are so weak, when he's been fighting my units again and again. Again, lost that one too. This guy might go down fairly quickly as well. See, he's got some Nagas now. This guy's going to go back to heal up, which is a smart move. You can see the AI is actually a much harder opponent to deal with than the player. I think this game, like I said, is quite difficult. It's hard for players to really know what to do at all times. It can be a little bit overwhelming, I think. But pulling back this unit is the smart thing, because even though you think, oh, he's not at the front doing damage, he can come back later and be part of the next push, you know? And again, one unit can hold an area pretty well. You don't need tons of units there at one time. One unit could be there in a fort, for example, holding. Like I had one unit here holding 1, 2, 3 units in this area, while this guy can go back to heal up at the village. And I have a small push here, 1, 2, 3 warriors and the shaman to heal them. So these guys are going to push up to this zone and kind of try to control this area a little bit. These 2 are here at the moment, but I think this ranger, this archer is going to die. And this guy's going to try to move up to relieve her and capture some of these areas pretty soon. Let's continue the next turn. What happened to my scout? Oh yeah, the scout died. I forgot about that. Fighting an aquatic unit as a non-aquatic unit in the water is always a bad idea. So these guys are going to pick this guy off pretty soon, if they could ever fucking hit him. That's another thing. If you can actually fucking hit the guys, then it'll be useful. Okay, capture this area, capture that village from him, and kind of control this little zone, which is a nice little area to stage and push out. Again, bad luck with the RNG though, and of course this guy kills that one immediately. Unfortunate. But now you can see the tides are turning a little bit. Because I was able to hold them back up a little bit here, I'm able to get a numbers advantage and an economic advantage, because now I control all the forts basically south of this river here. Everything south of this river is controlled by me. He only has a few forts up in his kind of safe zone, his island there. And this is going to be hard to crack, because the forest is 60 defense, the village is 60 defense, and this guy I'm going to move him up as well to have a very nice defensive zone. And these guys, these mermen are having a hard time. They're moving a lot of guys into the water now. 1, 2, 3 units trying to push this zone, but this archer will be able to help defend as well. Again, archer in the forest or in the fort is going to really be able to defend this kind of choke point area. And again, you can see I'm making more archers just because archers are good for defense. Let's actually continue on from the match here. And this guy's cleaned up as well. I'm going to be able to take this little village pretty soon. And occupy these guys in this zone. Perhaps moving this guy out was a mistake, but I was hoping I'd be able to get a few more good attacks in. Ooh, these dune burners are hard to deal with. These guys are tough, honestly. So I tried to take my archer out of cover to deal with the dune burner, but perhaps it was a mistake. I did deal with 2 of his units though, and without losing any, so I don't think it was that bad of a trade. Again, fighting in the water is not a good idea, especially against aquatic units. There, this guy gets upgraded to a captain, and unfortunately, again, I kind of waste this captain. I throw him against something, or I probably shouldn't. There, that guy goes. These guys are going to get killed off. Too bad. So sadly, this whole force here ends up getting chewed up, which is not very good, and I actually lose this captain here, or this elvish captain, which is again too bad, because he's got a big leadership bonus, which is really useful for elves, because they really lack any innate kind of leadership, and they need some kind of leader to give them a bit of a bonus. But you can see I'm getting a little bit of an upper hand now. So 1 unit, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and his commander, 8. Okay, 8 plus his commander. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So pretty even now, but on even terms, if I'm trying to mostly defend, it's a little bit easier for me. Rebels are really good in defense and mobility, so that's kind of their big advantage. Dunefolk, you really need to take advantage of the terrain and attack when you have your advantage, specifically either during the daytime for your lawful units, like these guys are all lawful units, or during dawn with your liminal units. Let's continue to the next turn. So pulling these guys back, I know I can't defend them there. Moving the scouts up, trying to take this guy out of the water. Again, pulling this guy back to kind of heal up a little bit. Hopefully that these guys can deal with him, but they have a really difficult time doing it. These guys all healing up, and I think this commando's gonna die. Yeah, this guy dies. So he's able to take out 1 unit, which is good, but he takes so much damage, and unfortunately he does end up getting killed. Yeah, so right there he dies. Unfortunate, too bad, because it's worth to protect those upgraded units, and even these guys might end up losing a lot as well. So again, going from equal footing to being totally on the back foot. So 3 units dying just that 1 turn is really, really bad for me. Again, I've lost control of this whole northern edge. Now I'm falling back to my kind of main zone here and trying to just control this area while I push units back. Let's continue the next turn. Lucky able to take out this guy. Again, that's why taking a lot of damage to push forward is not always good, especially if you put yourself in a vulnerable position. So he was able to push forward and take out my shaman, but he put himself in a very low defense position that made it easy for him to pick him off. This guy's going to die, however. The Nagas are just way superior to the mermen. Even the upgraded merman is just inferior to the Nagas. Again, fighting a ranger and archer in the forest is just not a good idea. These guys can hold the forest forever, basically, which is excellent usefulness. Making more elvish fighters. These are kind of my main unit to rely on. Throughout most of the game, you can see I'm getting mostly elvish fighters. That's because against Dunefolk, they're really the best unit. They have 2 attacks, again, as I said. The bow and the bow and the sword, and these are both quite good against Dunefolk. Really, these guys are the ones I want to be producing the most. I do produce a few Nagas and a handful of archers, as well as the occasional scout, but besides that, not really much. Only for the last push of the game, I produce some other units, some mages to deal with some really deadly Nagas that this guy made. This guy got like a level 3 Naga and like a level 2 Naga who were just harassing me in this river zone here. So I had to get a few mages out just to deal with them, because some units you really need to get something out that you can just crush them. And the mages I have available are the only things that can really deal with the leveled up Nagas. Let's continue next turn. This is like the lowest point in the game for me, where I'm really taking a lot of hits and I'm losing a lot of units. But again, you can see I'm making a defensive position here. If I can at least hold this area, it's good enough. Again, pulling my units back. Again, unfortunately, not able to take that guy out, which is such a pain. This guy's going to go down. For sure. And that Naga goes to level 2, which is a big pain. He's got a 7-3 curved blade and a 12-2 Jareed, which is a thrown weapon. So that's really deadly. So yeah, this guy goes down. This guy's going to go down. I'm going to totally lose control of the whole north and right side, so north and left side of the map. So that's really tough. At least this scout is going to keep them occupied for a little bit, but he's in a really low defense zone, so they're going to kill him very quickly. I don't think he can actually make it out of here. No, I don't know. I don't think he can. Oh, I guess he can. So maybe, I don't remember what I do with this guy. We'll see what he does. But just trying to control this little hard point and this point is basically the best I can do. While these guys try to kill this guy off and move around, these guys are going to be my kind of mobile route to go over here and kind of get behind their forces. Now, playing as rebels, really as any faction, you really want to be always trying to get behind the enemy. Like, try to find some defensive positions behind the enemy and just harass them as they're moving forward. So that's really what I have to do throughout this whole game, because I'm getting pushed back here. I'm losing a lot of units. Find a defensive position that you can hold, like right here, you can see, and try to move a few units behind them as well. But let's go the next turn. This guy moving back to heal, just get him totally out of harm's way. This guy moving back to heal as well. Getting a warrior up here just to defend a little bit. Now, these guys are all really weak, so this warrior might be able to take all of them out. And look at that bullshit. For real. 2 attacks on that one guy, he's able to hold on and heal. Ooh, that's brutal. Look at that. So this guy's going to go down. That Naga is just brutal. Hits 12 attack on that thrown weapon is ridiculous. Finally, this guy dies. Is so insane. Okay, these two stay back a little bit and heal up. One good thing about having low health for the elves, especially the elven archers, is they heal up really quickly in the villages. Basically, 1 or 2 turns back in the village, they'll be almost at full health again and ready to go out. So you don't need to let them sit in these villages for a long, long time. But you can see really failing now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units over here. Only 1, 2, 3 basically at the front. 2 of them are back here healing. 2 are going to send out another scout, another elven warrior, and these 2 still need to move up and go for this zone here. So he's really pushing me. He's got a nice concentrated force. 2 Nagas here as well, which is really dangerous because this is a lot of water. And a lot of really good units. You can see he's going for a lot of the Dune Rovers, which I would say are the best unit that Dunefolk have. And he's getting another Naga. Holy shit, yeah. He really dominates me in the water, and I have such a hard time coping with him in the water because Nagas are just way better than mermen. And for a map with a lot of water like this, you really want to try your best to control water, or at least manage it if you can't control it. Like, at least try to cope somehow with not being able to control water. Let's go the next turn. Okay, able to take that guy out, which is good. And this guy goes to level 2, which is the net thrower. And the reason I went net thrower because the net has a slow effect, but I think throughout this entire game, I never hit anybody even once with the fucking net, which is so annoying, to be honest. I thought this would be good as a support guy, but ended up being just a big waste. So look, miss every single time with the fucking net. Like, come on, dude. Drives me crazy sometimes with this RNG, honestly. Alright, so let's go the next turn. I'm kind of stabilizing things a little bit, able to kill off that guy. This guy's really weak. He's got a Dune Burner who's quite tough. This Naga is also very hard to deal with. A few of these guys are going to move around, and they're going to harass them in the back here. But again, just trying to build up a bit of a force. I think things turn around for me once I'm able to capture more of his villages. Once I'm able to kind of snowball with the villages, these guys especially capture a lot of the villages behind the lines while his units are going to the front and really destroy his economic base. Because once you lose that income, it makes it really hard to keep up, especially as you start losing units. Like, because my income's pretty solid, I've been pretty careful about trying to capture these villages throughout the game. I've been able to kind of keep up with unit production, but if you can't kind of control your villages, it can be really hard to come back once you start losing units. Move up here again, trying to defend this area. All these guys make a defensive line here. Capture that village. This guy moving to another forest. This guy pulling back to heal, which is a good move. These Nagas trying to take him out here. Now he's in an okay position, but just not ideal. I think it's only 50% defense versus 60 in the forest. Look at that bullshit. I hate those kind of back and forths. So all his forces are going forward. He's got 1, 2, 3 Nagas now. These Nagas are really hard to deal with. This guy's going to get taken out. And my archer, this whole back area is undefended. My archer just ends up picking off basically all these little villages that he's not defending. And that's what really wins the game for me. The fact that I can have these two back here to pick off his little villages and harass them in the back, that's basically what wins the game. Because these guys are really tough. These Nagas especially just dominate the ocean. I'm not able to compete with him in the rivers at all. But because I can take away his economy, eventually I can wear these guys down and produce enough myself to push back. Next turn here. Yeah, again, just sticking to high defense zones. I'll finally hit this guy with the net. Yeah, able to take that guy out, which is great. Move this guy to a forest where he can defend himself a little bit more. Like I said, as long as I can occupy these guys, I don't need to kill them. I just need to occupy them in this zone. If they're fighting me here, they're not raiding me somewhere else, which is good. Because that means I can raid him, and he's occupied with me in these kind of little areas. But again, this guy, this archer coming here to take that zone, these 2 Nagas occupied with this scout in the fortress. 3 Nagas in this fortress. So he's able to clear this guy up. He's able to kill this guy. But again, that's 4 units occupied here when they could be dealing with my units in the middle here. And they're not. Fighting up onto land from the river is a really bad idea anyways. If you want to play defensively, I mean, obviously having ideal terrain is good. So again, for elves, if I'm in the forest or in a fort or even just like some rocky, rough terrain is pretty good for defense. But another way you can defend, if you know you're going to have, like, for example, right now it's liminal. This guy's a herbalist. He's liminal. That means he gets a bonus at dawn right now. Holding the riverbank while they're trying to attack out of the water is really good. So he's got really low defense in the river. I've got okay defense on the land, so I'm easily able to defend against him like this. But I think this is shallow water. So shallow water is not as bad as deep water. If he was in the deeper water, it would be really bad for him. Shallow water is not that bad, so he's actually not getting that much of a debuff being there. Again, this is my main defense zone. I said at the beginning of this game, this area is the main zone I need to hold, and most of the action is going to be going from behind. Like going behind, trying to hold these zones here, right here, this fort, and these kind of forests in the middle here, as well as this fort and this village. These are the main areas I try to hold throughout the game and keep them out of my area. As long as they don't raid my area, that's great. If I was playing the Dunefolk, let's actually go the next turn and see what happens. If I was playing Dunefolk and things were reversed, I think I would try to, well, I'd make a lot of the Dune Rovers like the AI is doing here, and a lot of Nagas to control the water. But I'd also be trying to make a few of the Dune Riders just to go around and raid a little bit in the back. Dune Riders are good units. They're kind of like the equivalent of scouts, but they're liminal, which means they get a bonus during the dawn and dusk, and they are pretty good units as well. They have really good attacks. They're much better than the scouts, to be honest. Okay, see, this force is getting cleared up here, so this is going to die. Unfortunately, he's got a lot of units here. But again, my whole purpose is just to control this zone. I don't really need to defeat all his units here. Nighttime now. But yeah, the main advantage of the scouts versus the Dune Riders is the scouts are more nimble over more terrain. The scouts can travel over a lot of terrain. The Dune Riders have a hard time over some rougher terrain and forests, so they can't go through this terrain as easily as the scouts can. So that's a big advantage. But if I was playing Dunefolk, I would be sending my Dune Riders around the side here to try to raid in the back, just as I exactly am doing with my units, trying to raid in the back there and cause trouble for him by holding this little zone here. And again, taking all the villages. How many villages do you have? I have every single village except these ones in the rear. So he only has these 3 villages producing income for him now. So he's really starting to feel the pinch. You can see he's not able to really produce much anymore. And I'm getting a lot of attrition on his units. He's got a lot of units out here, and they're tough units, but he's getting a lot of attrition on them and having a really hard time trying to maintain this line. Let's go the next turn. Again, even though I'm never able to really take control of the water, as long as I can contest the water is good enough. As long as he can never have total control of it is good, because if he can have total control of the water, I can have such a hard time passing these rivers, and he can just harass me everywhere if he can control the water. But as long as he's contested, it makes it easier for me to move around. Again, this guy going in the back, this guy going in the back. Now he's just losing all his villages. So this Naga's the deadliest, but again, like, he can't break this defensive zone. He's even got his commander out here, which is a big mistake. Sending your commander out. I mean, you could use it if you really need them, but he's lawful, so he's getting a big debuff at night right now, and he should really be in a high defensive area. This is a really shitty defensive zone versus a really high defense unit. So this archer is tying up not only his commander, but a few other units here. Meanwhile, these guys are going to capture all these little villages here. He's going to have no income anymore, and really he's going to be kind of fucked, because a lot of these other units are going to get cleaned up, and then I'm going to be able to just push in and kill his commander. So let's continue on here. Again, taking that village. At this moment, I actually tried to push in, because I was thinking maybe I could kill the commander, but I just am not able to do it. So back and forth of nothing. Nobody hit anybody. The Wesnoth experience. two units just tossing in, hitting no one. Killing that guy is good. So you can see here, with no recruitment, he's not recruiting anything for a few turns. He's getting like no income. He's got 2 villages producing income right now, and his commander is off the field. The only reason this commander is able to survive is because he kills a unit and he gets an upgrade. So he gets upgraded and he gets a health buff because of that. So that's the only reason he can survive right here. But it's basically endgame for him. He's not recruited for a long time. He's got a big deficit of units. He has 1 Naga here. He has this big Naga over here. Sorry, where's his big Naga? This guy's his big Naga. He's got 3 Nagas still. He's got his commander. And I think that's it. I don't think he has anything else, right? Yeah, so that's all he has. These other little Nagas are going to get cleaned up. Only this big Naga is the most deadly. And this is going to go to level 3 and be a big pain in the ass to deal with. Oh, he's got this Dune Rider. I forgot about that. But now his commander is going to be running around trying to escape all my units. I've got some mages here. Mages are, as a rebel, mages are the best way to deal with Nagas, because their magic attack will cut through their defenses. And you can see I try to make use of mages just to deal with these Nagas, because they're so annoying, so obnoxious to deal with, and I have really nothing else that can take them out. And with that, he's basically lost all of his forts. That Naga, holy hell. This was a mistake by me. I should have ignored the commander, and I should have just gone for this village to totally deny him any income at all. Okay, yeah, I did take the village. Okay, that's good. So he's totally out of income now, which is great. But these Nagas are going to take out this archer and eventually take back this village. So again, his units are still able to clean this up, but he's been denied income for a long time, and I've been getting tons of income. That's allowed me to produce a lot of units. Actually, I accidentally moved my commander off my fort, which is a mistake, but I have a ton of saved gold here, so I'm able to use that to make a ton of units and really finish off this game. So we're getting close to the end game now. I think it goes up to maybe about 30 turns. So we're getting really close here. Let's go the next turn. Clean up that Naga. Able to occupy this fort. And then these guys are going to move around and start dealing with the commander as well. Again, move my commander back to start recruiting again. Yeah, this guy, I think he hit one time. Out this whole game, he got one hit with his fucking net. So this guy's such a useless bugger, honestly. Yeah, the Wesnoth experience. How many? 10 arrows shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one hit between them. Okay, there, he got killed off there, unfortunately. There goes that guy. Yeah, this Naga is a beast, to be honest. Okay, so I am in a good position. He's only got 1, 2 units on the field now. He's off his fort. He doesn't have any income coming in, so he's got no income. I've got lots of income still, 59 gold. I'm just going to keep producing tons and tons of units. I think I have every single village in the game. Yeah, I have all the villages, so I'm getting tons of income. He's basically on the ropes now, and it's just chasing down his commander and killing him at this point. Yeah, magic. You can see easily take out the Naga. While these guys just fail consistently, the mages are the key to really taking out these guys. Moving to this fort, because it has 4 tiles versus 3, I can recruit more per turn, which is more useful. So again, dealing with the mage is good. Again, this Naga's attacks are just so strong anyways that it's really hard to kill him regardless. Oh, killed that guy. That's too bad. But again, occupying this fort. So if I occupy this palisade unit, or this unit here, it means he can't recruit. So the commander has to be on this like kind of castle tile to actually recruit anything. So there's only 2 on each side. I guess you could be on either side. So if he comes to my side, he can recruit from here. But your commander has to be on a tile like this to actually recruit anything. So if he's not on the tile, he can't recruit. And you can only recruit inside the castle as well. So 4 tiles here means maximum 4 recruits per turn, unless he moves over to the other castle, which then he can get 3 more. So let's continue the next turn here. Oh. There goes that mage. So that mage is out of there. But this Naga, this Naga is huge now. Level 3 Naga. Oh boy, that's tough. The Shaman. I don't know why I brought the Shaman out here. I thought I could maybe get a kill, but like, oh my god, so unlucky with these attacks, man. And there, that Naga is just cleaning everything up. This Naga is really brutal. Like, look at that. 7-3 curved blade with a deflect, and a 13-3 throwing weapon, which is crazy, and insane levels of like skills as well. So level 3 units are very powerful. So the fact that he has this level 3 Naga means I really cannot compete in the water. But I think I am able to kill it with my mage, because mage is directly... Let me actually take a look at this unit. So yeah, very powerful unit. With deflect... What does deflect do actually? Okay, so yeah, this makes him very hard to hit as well. So it actually reduces the chance of enemies hitting him. So it makes him very survivable. He's got good traits as well, intelligent and strong. Intelligent is less experience, which is good. I guess that's why he's been able to level up so quickly. And strong just means I think he does more and more damage, yeah. Let's actually check out other things about him. So he doesn't really have any resistances. He doesn't resist anything. So the magic is able to deal with them, mostly because magic can sometimes cut away through defenses. So you can see when my mage comes, even though everybody else is like basically unable to hit him because his defense is so high, and he's in the 70 defense area. You can see 70 defense here, plus 10, so he's like 80 defense because of his deflect ability. The mage is able to ignore that and just kill him very easily. So yeah, this guy is still here on the run. He captured one little village, but he doesn't have anywhere to go where he can recruit. So he's still a little bit in trouble here. Let's go to the next turn. Again, just surrounding this guy. He's very tough though. He's got this fire burning attack. But again, if I could just surround him and keep attacking him, eventually he's going to go down. Yeah, enough of these guys are moving up. This Naga is just here. Keep him occupied. It really doesn't matter. Like, he's strong, but he's really irrelevant for the rest of the game, to be honest. Okay, all of these guys moving up. Even though I haven't really said much about this unit, the Shaman. Okay, there goes that guy. Oof. Oh boy, finally got a hit there. Slow effect on him. Okay, there we go. Pretty good. So even though I haven't mentioned much about this unit, this Shaman, the Elvish Shaman, is a really, really useful unit. This is a natural healer, so they'll heal anybody around them. And that's incredibly important for elves, because your units are pretty weak. They often have pretty low HP, and definitely a Shaman with a group of Elvish warriors, Elvish fighters, is very, very useful. That's why I have a few Shamans usually with any big groups I have. Mages are also useful as well, but it depends on the matchup. Some matchups, mages are more useful than others. For most of this game, I think mages are not that useful. Only really in the end here where I want to take out some very powerful units, where I really want to bring out a mage. But for most of the game, I think they were not that key. Mostly groups of fighters with a couple archers to defend, key choke points, and then shamans to help heal them. So you may or may not have seen it throughout this game here that the shamans I've had have been doing some passive healing, so that helps me hold, you know, some area a little bit better. Oh, I've lost 2 forts. What are the 2 forts I've lost? That one in the north for sure, and there's one more, right? I don't know. It says I lost this one. Okay, so this one, this rider took it. Okay. Doesn't really matter anyways. So this, you can see the mage is doing a lot of damage to the Naga. But he's still taking a lot of damage as well. And there goes that rider. And this guy becomes a captain. This guy's really hard to take out. Hiding in this village gives him pretty decent defense. But he's got nowhere to run now. Like, we've got him totally surrounded. He's got no units left. His only unit is this Naga, and that Naga is going to die soon. So that mage dies. Unfortunately, that mage is a great death animation, to be honest. So this guy's surrounded, basically. I've got more units coming up. These guys are all going to surround him. He does have some income, but I don't think he can make it to a castle in time to recruit anything. So this guy's basically done for. He's almost done. And this Naga's going to go down as well. Let's see the last few turns. Just keep the Shaman in the back to heal anybody. Heal these 2 up. They will only heal units on the adjacent tiles, so only tiles that are immediately beside them they will heal. Oh, that guy dies, unfortunately. Ooh. Finally able to take out that Naga. So he's really got nothing anywhere now. Just send everybody up. This is kind of game over by this point. Just like cleanup time. He's running away. He's almost dead. So he's running out here. That's a big mistake anyways, but it doesn't really matter. He's done for. Take that village back, and just finishing him off right here. This is game over. And there he goes. And that's the game. So that was Rebels versus Dunefolk. And a pretty interesting game is that it was unfortunate that the enemy player, Ulf, decided to quit so early into the game, because I really think he didn't really do that much wrong. If I was him, though, I would not have recruited all that weird mix of units. He recruited just like a weird mix of every unit he had. I don't know why he would do that. You really don't want to do that just with any strategy game. Like, if you play like Age of Empires or whatever strategy game you're playing, you don't want to just get like random units. You want to kind of know what you need. And if you don't know what you need, get something that you know is at least useful. So at the beginning of the game, you see I got only scouts. I didn't get anything else because I didn't even know who I was playing against. I didn't know what nation I was playing against here. So getting scouts, I know at least, is useful. And scouts are always useful against every nation. I mean, they're not always like the best unit to have, but they're always useful in terms of that they're very fast, they're very mobile, they can capture villages very easily, and you know, you can scout with them. You can scout around the map, see what's happening. So they're always useful. So I always want to get scouts and merfolk as well. I know this map has a lot of water, so I do want to get merfolk out. So for the first couple turns, all I was getting was merfolk and scouts and a couple of generic units like warriors or archers, who I know are always good. Later, once I saw it was Dunefolk, I knew that warriors or the fighters are going to be my main unit to focus on because these guys are my most well-rounded unit and they can go toe-to-toe with almost all the Dunefolk unit as well. So these ones are my best. So mostly Elvish fighters accompanied by a couple Elvish shamans, at least one shaman for every group of fighters I tried to have. And then as well as that, some archers, kind of more for a defensive role. So putting archers all around the map in really high defense areas like forests, just to kind of control regions is very useful. So that was the game. That was Rebels. If you want to see more stuff like this, I really like playing these kind of online games. I really hope the next online game I play, the enemy will actually play a full game, because I really like to see a full game against, I really like to record a full game against a human player only, and not just an AI, because I don't want to quit after 10 turns and like win. It's not fun, you know. But that was a pretty interesting game, and you know, if you like this kind of content, feel free to like and subscribe or comment in the comments here. I really am enjoying Wesnoth. I'm glad to see a lot of people really love this game, because this is a game I am a big fan of for really years, many years. Since I was a little kid, I've loved Wesnoth a lot. It's a very cool game that I think doesn't get that much love, mostly because people would rather focus on the big premium games rather than free games like this. But, you know, if you guys like this kind of stuff, I'm happy to make more content for it. And of course, more content for other games as well, like Dominions, Elysium, and other things like that will be coming pretty soon. And maybe whatever else kind of catches my fancy. But that was another skirmish match of the Battle of Wesnoth, and I'll see you guys again next time. So, goodbye, guys.